Galina Ackerman is editor-in-chief at Desk-Russia and is a French writer, historian, journalist, translator, and researcher at the University of Caen, specializing in Ukraine and post-Soviet states. She was also translator for the Russian journalist murdered by the Putin regime, Anna Politkovskaya. Galia was born into a Russian Jewish family and holds a doctorate in history from the University of Paris Pantheon-Sorbonne. In 1998, Galia translated into French Chernobyl Prayer by Svetlana Alexievich, a book about the Chernobyl disaster. While working on the translation, she traveled to the poisoned territories called the Zone, which is short for the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, and interviewed local people who had witnessed the nuclear catastrophe at first hand. Welcome to Silicon Curtain. Please like, subscribe, and definitely add comments to help the videos perform better on YouTube and help new people to discover the incredible guests that we feature. Please also check out the validated Ukrainian charities in the description of the video below. It's incredibly important at this time to help Ukraine stay resilient and help it stay independent. Galina, I'm delighted to welcome you to the channel.
Yeah, thank you. Hello.
Well, let's start with your job at Desk-Russia, because you've recently introduced content in English language. I've started reading it. It's incredibly insightful and useful. What was the impulse to start producing English language content? And what is the purpose of Desk-Russia?
It was my idea for years. I thought that we needed in France a media which would concentrate itself on Russia and Russia's surroundings, if I may say so. And because, there was a very strong pro-Russian feeling in France. It is historical ties between two cultures, two peoples, and so on. And so I thought that we had somehow to confront this propaganda, this pro-Russian feeling, and to expose facts and analysis and opinions and interviews and so on. So I found a few friends, journalists and academic scholars. We formed a small team, and we started practically with no money. We had 1,700 euros when we started in private donations, and we started it in French under the form of a newsletter, which was published once every 2 weeks. And very, very quickly we understood that there was really a need for it. Now, to be clear, we created the English version of the site immediately, but at that time the site was simply a landing page for the newsletter, so it was not very insightful as a site. And the big change came when we fully we made a new site, a very rich one, very well structured and so on in French. And then we also created a smaller, more modest version of it in English. Why the English? Because, we think that our contributors are sometimes not well known, especially I think about our French contributors, are not well known in the international space, which is dominated by Anglo-Saxon media. So we thought that we can bring something else to the general reader outside the French speaking zone, and slowly but surely we are making our way. So, and now the purpose of the site also changed a lot with the beginning of the war in Ukraine, because we are fully 100% pro-Ukrainian. We made from this war the one may say, the main theme or one of the main themes of our newsletter and of our site. There was even a period when we made a newsletter every week, but our resources, it's no more 100, 700 euros, but it is still very modest because, you know, there is a lot of money for Russian-speaking opposition media, but we are French media, French language, English language, so we don't fall under those categories which are systematically supported by different foundations. And in fact, our newsletter is not aimed at the Russian public. I do not say that Russian public is beyond recovery, but I think what is important for us is to inform the French and general public in the world about what's going on in Russia, about what's going on in Ukraine, how this war is developing, and so on. And in order to make a barrier to the Russian propaganda, which is still very active, you know, we receive a lot of hostile comments. Even myself personally on my ex-Twitter page, I receive a lot of insult because this site disturbs. But I must say that a kind of how to say, there was a turning point in the French opinion. I guess it happened in almost all the European countries, whether they are or not members of the European Union, because the Russian propaganda and the Russian way of making the war to aggress a neighbor, etc., etc., it simply doesn't play in the favor of this Russian regime. So our president, for instance, Macron, he tried to accommodate with Putin. We all remember how he went to Russia only a few days before the invasion. We all remember how shocked he looked because he thought that through diplomacy one can achieve certain goals, and it was not possible. And he continued for some time saying that one has to speak about Russia, one has not to humiliate Russia, and gradually it all shifted. Because Russia is now, I may say, beyond our grasp in diplomacy. It has to be decided.
There's a big change in Macron's language, and even as late as autumn last year, winter last year, there was still conciliatory language. You didn't have the sort of hard-edged statements that he's now making. It seems that around December, there was some crucial change, some process of internal reevaluation of Putin's regime. And this year, the language and some of the actions are very, very different to what we've seen before. What do you think was the processes behind the scenes that have led to this reevaluation of diplomatic policy, military policy, and the entire attitude towards Russia and the war in Ukraine?
I think for Macron personally, it started when he finally visited Kiev and Bucha, as soon as in April 2022, which means 3 months after the beginning of the war, when he saw by himself, and it is always very strong impression when you see really destroyed buildings, destroyed roads, people shot in the streets, and so on. Because it's one thing to see it on the TV, and I think it is very important to see it with your own eyes. And then, Russia also committed a lot of unfriendly actions towards France, trying to disturb our democratic institutions, to make deep fakes. I'll remind you of one of the most famous fakes. There was a rumor spread that Macron's wife was in fact a transsexual, that she was a man at the origin and she changed sex and so on. So it is deeply humiliating on a personal level. And Macron is, like many politicians, a narcissistic person. So when one attacks to himself in this humiliating way, of course, reactions are strong. Now, I must say something. France diplomacy is something very special, because France, like Russia, was also an empire. And I know a lot of French diplomats. I also meet them when I'm invited to the television. And I understand that for many French diplomats, there is still, and I think Macron was educated this way, there is still a strong idea that France has to play a central role in Europe, be a leader of Europe. And France, because of its specific ties, past ties with Russia, has the unique ability to build bridges and to somehow influence the issue of the war and the post-war future. Of course, it is an illusion, but it is a dangerous illusion. Nobody gave France this role. I think it is self-nomination, and nobody believes in it. I mean, there is a whole new Europe now, much more active, which understands much better Russia. So it was a French diplomatic illusion which pushed Macron to try to do something in a peaceful way. Also, he was personally convinced that if one speaks reasonably with even a person who is on the opposite position, you can convince that person. And it is just a stupidity. You cannot convince Putin of anything. I sometimes say that Putin is in a way even not human, because he's simply like a ChatGPT, which was fed all the KGB experience, instructions, documents, and so on. Like now, there is a chat Xi Jinping, which was fed on all the biography statements, speeches, and so on. And so it can give a perfect answer to whatever is asked on the current situation and so on, because it is entirely fed by Xi Jinping thought. So Putin is the same. It's like it's element of the KGB language, one may say. So there is no empathy in all that. You cannot talk to him. You cannot convince him, and you should even not try, because it's useless. And so for me personally, it is a pity that, for instance, recently, French diplomacy, and of course with the agreement of the head of the state, Monsieur Macron, made two big mistakes with Russia. First was to assist at Putin's inauguration on May 7, whereas most of the Europe's ambassadors declined the invitation, didn't come, and were asking for France to do the same. Yet French ambassador went together with a Hungarian one and Slovakian one. You know, it's I think it's a shame. And now now France invited Putin to the how do you say, débarquement?
The commemoration.
To the commemoration of D-Day. And again, not Russia did not participate in this operation. For Russia, it was not a good news because Stalin thought he was strong enough to occupy the whole of Europe, and this prevented him from occupying the Western Europe. So why to hell to invite a country which did not participate and which now means conducts this terrible aggression war. And again, some French diplomats were saying, because there was a public discussion about this invitation, were saying, oh yes, you know, one should look farther, because one day this war will be finished. One will have to reconstruct bridges and so on. And so we have to stay in honorable relation with Russia. So you see, even now with the turning point when Macron acknowledged that there might be a day when French troops will come to Ukraine and so on, there is still this remains of the conciliatory language.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? And I love your analogy there of a sort of chat GPT version of a KGB mafia thug, because, you know, one of the phrases I think I used early on when I created this channel, which was shortly after the full-scale invasion, and this was talking to Ben Hodges, who's been, you know, I think very useful commentator during the war, is that Putin's on a kind of autopilot, an escalatory autopilot. And as you say, there's very little you can do to snap him out of that, except to mirror his behavior, which is to meet force with force. In some ways, I mean, you've been watching Russia for a long time, and it's difficult to we should not forget, though, that Russia under the Soviet Union obviously had a brutal regime, but it was nothing like this regime in, say, the 1960s, 70s, 80s. It seems to me Russia was a far more humane place where, even though, you know, France, Britain, etc., were adversaries of the USSR, some forms of cooperation and some form of operating within a system of rules was possible. Is that sort of accurate? And what are your memories of that period, your Russian watching memories of those previous decades?
As you mentioned, I was born in Moscow, but a very long time ago, in 1948. And I emigrated from Russia, from the Soviet Union, in 1973. So I was witness to this atmosphere of the end of 60s and beginning of 70s, though I was a personal witness. And of course, I might say that the atmosphere at that time was very different from what we see now, because there was, of course, a general censorship. One could not travel abroad, etc. But there was no need, no obligation to support the regime. You could lead your small life without expressing yourself. And I think for me, this period from, let's say, when I finished my school studies and entered the university and my immigration, those were years of a big internal freedom, because I had a circle. I belonged to a circle of people who were absolutely anti-Soviet, who read samizdat and tamizdat and whatever we could put the hand on. And I never watched TV. We only, with my first husband, we only listened through the jamming Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, sometimes Voice of America, and we thought of emigrating, because even then I did not see, after Czechoslovakia, I didn't see any hope of a positive transformation. But internally we were free. We lived in a parallel world, and it was possible. But I think that now the period is a weak remake, rather, of Stalin times, because there is a lot of denunciations. This process which opened now in Moscow, Berkovich, Petrychuk, it was a denunciation of excuse me, a young idiot, a young patriot, patriotic, theatrical figure who is really convinced that Putin is right, Putin is a genius, and so on. If we go back 50 years ago, nobody believed in these communist ideas, and people were just accommodating, but they were not engaged. Nobody believed. I remember once the Russian dissident Alexander Ginsburg said a phrase which marked me. He said, 1974 is a year when no communist was born in Russia. You see, and now you can see that the propaganda is much more effective, much stronger, utilizes new tools of influence, and many people probably believe, even though those are absurdities. I cannot understand how a normally constituted person can believe that Russia was in danger and therefore there was a need to attack Ukraine. It is an absurdity, and yet a lot of people believe in it. A lot of people believe in this history, right? All this bullshit about historical territories of Russia, which can find themselves in Scandinavia and in Arctica and even Alaska and so on. So there is how to say, Brezhnev's times was a period when this system started to stagnate and to lose its persuasiveness, whereas under Stalin, in spite of the purges, mass executions, and so on, there were, I think, a lot of people who believed in it, believed in the greatness of the regime. We remember this industrial big constructions, big combinates, there was people who had a feeling that they participate at something great, great, even though it was terrible. Great and terrible at the same time. That's what is repeated on a weaker scale today with Putin. People don't live that well. Many regions stay very poor, but there is a big idea that Russia is fighting the big evil, that this is Russia is an incarnation of the good, fighting the evil, decadent Western civilization. And I think that, you know, the courage of the Russian soldiers is exalted, even though many of these soldiers are just rapers and killers, liberated from jail and so on. So it is a construction which has no ground in the reality, but still I do think that many people sincerely believe. So in a way, it is a much more difficult and terrifying period than Brezhnev's era. We don't need today to make massive purges because people know how it can be. It is enough to condemn a few tens of people to very harsh punishment, 25 years in jail, 20 years in jail. It's something which did not even exist in Brezhnev times, you know, but 25 years like Karamazov for a political thing, impossible. It is only under Stalin that it was possible. And of course, yeah, I think one of the elements of this propaganda and is also the justification and the glorification of the Stalin period.
Another commonality with the Stalin period, and this is, I think, one of the least discussed but most terrifying ones, is that Stalin destroyed anybody who could be a potential rival. That meant talented people were eliminated, people who could have turned Russia in another direction and had the imagination to, you know, create a different future. It seems that Putin has that same paranoia, that same mechanism that he's operating, and that is to only promote, I would say, often incompetent people that have, you know, little personality, charisma, and as soon as anyone starts to develop some kind of power base or popularity base, he seems to destroy them. But this isn't just individuals. He has also hollowed out and destroyed all institutions, hasn't he? State institutions, political institutions, civic institutions. It'd be interesting to hear your view on that because, you know, the USSR was a far more complex place than Putin's Russia politically. And where does that leave Russia for the future? That he's leveled the playing field of anyone, I would say, with imagination that could build a different system.
You know, there are a few differences, but very important ones between the Soviet system and the current Russian one. The Soviet system was based on the superiority and upper control by the Communist Party. And Communist Party, which had 17 million members at Brezhnev's times, had its direction, which was the Politburo at the end, Central Committee, then Politburo, which was the executive. And KGB was only the armed branch of the Communist Party, which had to preserve its interests, its supremacy, and so on. What Putin did, he, well, it was not Putin who destroyed the Communist Party. It was the decision in 1989 to abolish the Article 6 of the Constitution, proclaiming the superiority of the Communist Party. But what we have now is absolutely not similar to the Soviet system, because you have a vertical system of power, but in the at the edge of the pyramid, it is only Putin. There is nobody else who can contain him. He's alone. He holds his legitimacy not from the party decisions like it was in the Soviet times, when the general secretary was appointed by the Central Committee, then Politburo, and then it was voted in the party congress. So it was all played in advance. But now Putin holds his legitimacy from the general elections, which of course are falsified, but only partly, because other candidates are which are not suitable are eliminated, not admitted, and so on. But there is nobody to stop him in a way. So this system is even more authoritarian and dictatorial and totalitarian than the Soviet system. They said in the Soviet times that there was a socialist democracy, but now there is no democracy at all, neither socialist nor not socialist one, and the Putin is directly connected to the secret services. In fact, his true people who perform what he asks for, those are secret services. First of all, FSB, which is a KGB transformed, which changed its name anyway. And so this, and also what is specific also that, you know, in the Soviet times, even the highest direction of the state did not have property on what they had the usage. I mean, they had lavishly villas and best sanatoriums and incredible food. They could take whatever they wanted, but once they were defeated or dead or whatsoever, it was lost. You know, I was once with a group of Western businessmen at the dacha of Brezhnev in Kislovodsk. And I was very struck by the thing that, you know, on every chair, there was a stamp, Central Committee. Even no chair, no sheet belonged to him. You know, it was only function of what he has. Now, I think what happened that there was the fusion between secret services and mafia, or rather this new mafia is a mafia issued mainly from the secret services, and they have possession of things. They are all billionaires. I mean, it's a stronger hold than what could have all these general secretaries of the past, because Putin is said having, some say 50 billions, others say 200 billions. Numbers are just astronomical. But we know that whoever comes close to Putin, he's gratified. So this is a very specific system, functioning like a classical mafia. And, mafia always eliminated people who did not sue them. If you look any film on mafia, like Casino, Scorsese, and so on, you see that these people always physically eliminate whoever does not suit them, whoever disobeyed them, and so on. And so Putin started applying this system very early. Already in 2001, Anna Politkovskaya, who was a close friend of mine, she was writing that there is a process of fascization of Russia because the Second Chechen War already showed all the it was the matrix of the actual system and of all the wars. But of course, at that time, Russian elites were saying that Politkovskaya is a fool and crazy, excited woman, because they were busy. They started to be fed by this regime, and it is a process which it took to Putin maybe 20 years to achieve this almost perfect for him situation when most of the society is either bought or ideologically submitted under the propaganda and so on, but it's a kind of a big consensus in Russia about what's going on, about Putin is being right, we live now better than before, and so. What does it say about the future? To say honestly, I don't know, because when the Nazi Germany was defeated, the Allies entered Berlin and occupied Germany, and there was Nuremberg and so on. But nobody will going to occupy Russia. At the best, if Ukraine succeeds, it will push the aggressor out of its territories. But that's all. So who will do all this work? I wonder. I think there might be, I'm very, I'm very attentive to what the Russian opposition says today. And I don't say everybody, but many people say now, yes, we are occupied. We are Russians occupied by this regime. It's a bloody regime. Once it falls, there will be hope of a happy and free Russia, like Navalny said. I do not believe it one single moment, because if they do not recognize their historical responsibility in the fact that Putin is staying a quarter of a century in power, if they do not recognize that there is their responsibility in this war, if they continue either to work inside of Russia saying, well, we are leading our lives, one has to preserve culture and so on, and others who make big plans for the future and say, they recognize, yes, Ukraine has to win. But I do not hear the sincere repentance. I do not hear the sincere feeling of responsibility. There are people who do have this feeling, but they are a minority. And so I'm afraid that whatever is the outcome of the war, people who will come after Putin, I don't know when, by the way, it might last many years. They would just, say, it was all Putin. It's not us. And then we shall try to mend our relations with the West, because one has to abolish sanctions. We have to travel like before in Europe, and our children will study in Europe, and so on. And so it will be just a new cycle of the same. I'm very much afraid that there is no moral force in Russia which could really make this repentance and to say it's not Putin, it's us.
And the last question is very much related to that. And this is one of the things that allows people to tolerate Putin, as you say, for a quarter of a century, is the idea that he's promising them something. He's promising them greatness. He's promising them an imperial identity, which in some ways is the glue that holds Russian autocracy together, and in stronger or weaker forms has done for many centuries. That same glue, of course, allows people to tolerate the extreme brutality. Now, you mentioned the Russian opposition. Some are starting to examine the toxic legacy of imperialism, and the fact Russia is probably one of the last great European empires, one of the last great historical empires, but many just don't want to go there. They know it's electorally a huge liability to talk about decolonization, to talk about deconstructing the Russian imperial entity. But as you say, if Russia's to have a future, that has to be tackled. And in some ways, Russia would need to become a very different kind of entity, a non-imperial entity. That's difficult to imagine how that will happen.
Yes, indeed. I think that the great problem of Russians as a very big ethnic group is that they never had a truly Russian identity. They always had, for centuries, many centuries, an imperial identity. They were feeling themselves like, the bones, the skeleton of the empire. And of course, we know that whenever there was a military expedition in Russia in order to enlarge its enormous territory, there were always merchants and soldiers and peasants and so on, Russians, who were arriving, popes, of course, and creating the Russian avant-post in these conquered territories. And so now, if you take from them the empire, that was the big humiliation of the 90s, the biggest, that they lost the empire. And without empire, Britain, Great Britain, who had a tremendous empire, there was always Brits by themselves. I mean, British culture, British writers, British poets, and so on. And so when the empire collapsed, they stayed with their heritage. But Russians, for them, it was absolutely catastrophic, because this idea that they were the first and most important and leading people of the empire. And without that, what they were, it's not clear. Now, I think the change in Russia will not come from Russians, because they are unable to grasp it. All these now studies and movements and experiments and so on about decolonization will come from other peoples of the empire. All these Tatars and Chechens and Bashkirs and Dagestanis and etc. Because they start understanding, and that is how the Soviet Union ended, after all, because of the national movements in the republics. It was not, if it were only the Russians, nothing would have happened. But if you have a less brutal regime or just a weaker regime, and one may hope that after a defeat in Ukraine, this regime will be weakened, then maybe national movements will have a chance to free themselves. And if Russia loses even what makes part today of the Federation of Russia, then maybe there will be some, if not repentance, but a clear understanding that one has to change something, that this is a big nation, it cannot disappear, but this nation has to find new values and understand, first of all, who they are themselves. And I think today it is not clear. They can live their lives without dominating other peoples. Now, you know, we talk about that, but one might say also that we live in a very difficult epoch, because authoritarian regimes are raising their heads in many places in the world, and Russia belongs now to this big group, first with China, and then to a lesser extent with Narendra Modi's India, and then with Iran, and then with Northern Korea, and then with Venezuela, and then Brazil is not so far, etc., etc. And it may allow Russia, with this anti-Western rhetoric, it may allow Russia to survive much longer than we would hope for.
That is pessimistic, but I think it's important to be realistic about the prospects and plan accordingly. Galina, it's been a huge pleasure welcoming you to the channel, and I think your insights are absolutely essential for people to hear in order to get a sense of the reality of the situation and put it into historical perspective. I strongly recommend that they check out Desk Russia and the fantastic content that your team produces. But thank you so much for appearing on the channel today.
You are welcome, and I hope we'll speak again soon.